So I'm joined by Liam, one half of the Wandering Wheelies, and they've got a Swift motorhome that's been fully adapted to be fully accessible for less able people, especially if you're in a chair.
Yep.
But we're going to take a good look at this, but it's not just people that are in a chair, but we'll get some details about modifying a motorhome for accessibility. So that can be anybody from a mobility scooter, so mobility issues.
Yeah.
So some people need wide doors to get in and out, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go to Liam. We'll walk round the outside, and Liam can tell us all about this motorhome that is had custom made.
Custom done.
Neil, zip it. Over to you, Liam. Tell us all about it. Let's go around.
Well, cheers, Neil. Like Neil said, I'm Liam from one half of the Wandering Wheelies, and this is our Swift Edge 476 motorhome that has been completely changed for our needs. So it's fully wheelchair accessible and it's fully off-grid. We've had quite a lot of things done to it, and it's been done by a company in Nuneaton called Coach Built GB. We purchased the motorhome directly from Swift, who then sent it directly to Coach Built GB, and from the cab backwards gutted it back to its shell, and then it was rebuilt using original Swift parts to what our specifications were and what we wanted out of the motorhome. So they'll do lots of different things. They'll put oxygen systems in, they'll put profiling beds in, they'll put hoists in, they'll do any specification for accessibility that's needed. So every vehicle that they do is bespoke to the person that's ordering it and getting it. Our brief to them was we wanted a fully off-grid wheelchair accessible motorhome, that what we could do at home we could do in the van but in a smaller space, and this is what we got. So originally this garage door wasn't there, so this is another addition. As you can see by the logo, Denise has a hand cycle that fits on the front of her wheelchair. So our motorhome was designed around Denise's hand cycle. We needed somewhere to keep that, because it's all right us going travelling, but once we get there we need to then go and explore. So hence why Denise has the hand cycle. So we needed somewhere to keep that, and that lives in the garage.
Wow.
From there we had again additional of that's
don't worry,
yeah,
cold. Yeah,
cold external shower point, and that's again for Denise's hand cycle. Once it comes back muddy after an adventure, we can just wash it off and then stick it back in the garage.
Brilliant.
We have the refillable LPG, all fitted, and again in Europe it's more common than over here. Virtually every service station, petrol station has LPG. It's getting a little bit less here, but traveling to Europe, you've got no problems. Obviously you got your toilet cassette and your standard water filler with the 12-volt point that was added as an extra on our vehicle, and then your normal Fiat cab. The tyres did come in handy for the nurseries. So we have the BFG Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tyres put on the van, and a lot of people think, well, you've got all-terrain tyres on a 4-ton motorhome, but when Neil shows you now what we did to the grass, repairable. The travel trolls, however, got stuck. We didn't, thanks to the tyres.
Yeah.
Okay. And coming round to the fun side, so thanks to the nurseries having fully serviced pitches, we have our electric hookup. Cheers, Neil, love that. As you can see, we've got the wider door, and to accommodate the wider door, this window was actually moved over by 2 inches. So they've not just cut a bigger hole, they've had to literally rebuild the side of the van by moving the window over. So we've got a wider habitation door. You'll see we've still got the winter covers on. Now I know what you're thinking, they should be off, However, we've changed the fridge, so we have now a compressor fridge that vents from the front. We don't have the standard fridge anymore, so it's a 12-volt compressor fridge. We don't need the vents, they're just a draft hazard, so we cover them up. We'll show you the wheelchair lift in a minute. Our old gas cupboard is now a storage cupboard because we've got the refillable LPG with a 25 litre tank underslung of the van. We then get the old gas cupboard back as storage. So that is where we keep our electric hookup, water pipes, oil and things like that. That lives in there. And then the original garage door on this side. So I can access it from both sides. So we also have a 55 litre chest freezer, a Dometic chest freezer that lives on the other side. I can access it, or I can access Denise's bike from this side. And then on the reverse is pretty standard. We've had the double reverse camera added, but we've also added this little socket down here. And basically what that does is gives me another point I can plug in an external solar panel. So we have 2 solar controllers on the vehicle, all Victron, and I can put a fold out suitcase solar panel, plug it into there and move it round with the sun, so I'm not having to move the van round. I can move the solar panel round, which is a lot easier, which gives me an extra 200 watts of solar. On the roof we have 610 watts of solar on the roof, so a total of 810 watts of solar available. We've onboard Wi-Fi and the normal vents, but to accommodate the 2 big solar panels on the roof, one of the skylights were actually filled in, and that's where my solar panels live, and we'll show you that on the inside.
Okay, and the, sorry, interrupting, you've got the supports underneath here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go on, tell us.
So, with the wide door, we've also got the wheelchair lift, and we're going to go on to something else we've got, which is a little bit special as well. But the lift is, put the step in, and the lift literally sits in a cassette underneath the van, and it's a bit slow, especially when it's raining or it's cold, but the lift will come out up and down for Denise's access. And then once she's in, we can store the lift away again underneath the van. And to make sure that lift goes down straight and even every time, we have the EMP hydraulic leveling system, which Neil will show you now.
So front, yep.
So there's 4 hydraulic rams that come down and level the vehicle at literally a touch of a button on a remote control. So not only do we not mess about with chocks and ramps and back a bit and forward a bit, and no, we just pull up and touch a button. We can also, in winter when we're draining down the van, you can lean it over to one side to make sure your grey water is completely empty, which is always a good idea. And not only that, the 4 rams will lift the whole vehicle off the ground, so if you want to change a tyre at any point, you can literally lift the whole thing off the ground and change all 4 tyres. Not as quick as the F1 crew, but it can be done. Yeah.
Okay.
It's scary when you lift it up.
Yeah, I believe that. Right, I'm just going to clip here and we'll go and step inside It's a little bit chilly out here, so there's a normal.
Oh, yeah, we can do. Oh, yeah. Or the awning.
Yeah. Oh, the awning. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Is it? Yeah. Oh, hang on. Tell us about the awning.
The awning is an electric one because I've got a lazy husband who won't do a winder.
Okay, let's go. It's not too windy at the moment either, so obviously be careful of wind. Oh.
It will come out all the way, but like Neil said, it's a little bit windy.
Yeah, don't catch the wind.
Let's put it back.
Don't catch the wind. But yeah, we can shelter underneath here if need be. That's amazing. Wow.
Can you reach it?
Can you just about?
What's that? Needs cleaning.
It's a leaf. Oh. Yeah, it's a leaf.
Yeah. We literally just found room.
Yeah, there's no real room, is there? So yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
I mean, our sticker wall, I don't know what it is with van lifers and things, but the sticker wall is a thing. But we decided that we would only get stickers off people that we've physically met.
Yeah. And
on a cold, dark, rainy night, we can then have conversation. Oh, remember when we met such a body? Oh, what a good night we had with such a body. And again, it just passes the night, and that's why we decided we won't buy stickers and we won't, you know, post them out. Yeah. We'll just get them from people we've physically met, because you've got a story behind it.
Absolutely. Do you want to let yourself in, and I'll... Yeah. That does pull, does it? I've not broke that, have I? Oh, good grief.
No, it is on a latch, but...
Yeah, don't let me break things.
The amount of people that have done it.
Right. Oh, keep it warm, isn't it? Sorry, that's my woolly hat. That's nothing to do with this here. Okay, so...
Now, we do live in this, like we said earlier on, 95% of the time. So it's like any house, we have junk drawers and things are not always in place. So excuse the mess, but welcome to our van. So it's based on a Swift Edge 476, and like I said earlier, it was gutted from the cab backwards. So originally it came as a six berth 4 seat belts. It is now a 2 berth with 2 seat belts. So the diner area, I'll move that and you can edit that.
Yeah.
So the diner area here, originally it was made up into a double. So there was a seat on that side, exactly the same as this one. To give us the access, that seat was removed. Where Denise is sitting at the minute used to be another bench seat, and again to give the access, the access here, that seat was removed. That's where our sergeant unit and the 12 volts live. So that was the reason behind that. The cupboards at the top here, that was another bed, so it was an over cab bed, just a pull down over cab bed. That was removed because none of us would use it, and storage was more important for us. So again, we had the cupboards in, all original Swift parts, all original Swift material, so it matched everything else in the van. So I hope you can see that it looks like it was supposed to be there from the factory, and that was all added. We've added other little things like an Alexa, so we can have disco lights on inside and things like that, which we've added as an extra. Up here you've got the standard control panel. So this is our refillable LPG, so it tells us the level of the gas we've got available. Oh, turn everything off. You'll have to edit that, mate. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Our normal Swift control panel, our normal Truma heater. Then on this side you have our Victron inverter. I'll show you that in a minute, but it's a 3000 watt inverter, so we can basically run any electrical product off grid from our batteries from this. On this side you have the EMP leveling system. So again, it just sits in a cradle there, and we can level the van automatic by literally just hitting the button, and it'll level the van from there. We also have a Webasto diesel heater, which is here. So the Webasto diesel heater is there, and that lives under the dinette bench seat just behind Neil. And I think the let me just make sure this is tidy. Shove that out the way. Drinking bottle I've got to fill up. So with it being fully wheelchair accessible, the wet room had to be obviously accessible as well. And the way we've achieved it in our build, and like I said earlier, every build's bespoke to the person, and we wanted it this way. So what we actually do is we open the door, the door will swing round there, that one will open, and then you have your shower curtain, and as you can see the floor has been moulded to be a shower tray, and then I can have a full shower. Bye bye.
Wow. I mean that is amazing. I mean, I'm not just saying it's amazing, but it really is amazing, and isn't it?
So it is. It's the full width of the van. It's got 4 drain holes. So again, even if we didn't have the levelling system, you know, it doesn't matter if you're slightly off. And we have tested this, because the floor is moulded to a shower tray. You can actually fit 10 litres of water before it'll actually overlap onto the other flooring, so it will hold a lot of water. So again, with the levelling system, we are level. It does go down all the plug holes, which is brilliant. And it literally just simply clicks back in and back in. Now you may be wondering about the bed situation. Well, that's not right accessible the way it looks at the minute, and I can see where you're coming from. Like we said earlier, Denise has a hand cycle that fits onto the front of a chair, and it was important for us that we take that with us on our travels and trips. So that lives in the garage. Originally it used to be the 2 single beds with the steps in the middle, which was actually quite higher than what it is at the moment. So we've actually lowered the bed from what it was originally. We wanted to take the bike, so the garage height is just enough that her cycle fits in. So what we do then is we get this little box, I'll shove you up deep. We get 2 ramps, and then I'll show you what happens.
Wow.
And from there, Denise can get in and out on her own.
I'm just going to interrupt. Denise, does it work for you, because you're the person that has to handle it? How is it?
Yeah, it works pretty well. From here then I'm independent, can get in and out of bed myself.
So just try and come back a little bit here.
If Denise did want to go on a solo journey on her own, you know, she's not independent that she can get up them ramps. However, we've thought of that. So we have another piece in the garage that actually slots here and makes the dinette back into a single bed, which is then accessible by Denise.
Brilliant. Okay.
So, as I was saying earlier on, we have 610 watts of solar on the roof. And you're thinking, how did we fit that on a motorhome with all the skylights? Well, this used to be a skylight. and it was filled in and made this nice fancy internal lighting, and that's where my two dirty great big solar panels live, on the roof at the back. We have two TVs because I like watching telly, especially the F1. So we have a 32-inch TV in the back, all linked to the internet with the Fire Stick, and we also have the 21-inch in the front,
which is over here. Sorry.
Now, how do we power this van? This is a little bit special. So the step you saw Denise getting up with the ramps houses all our electricals. So not only does it give us storage, but that's all our Victron MPPT. So you'll see we've got two MPPTs. So we've got a 50 amp one here, that's for the solar panels on the roof, and then we've got a second 20 amp one here, which is for that little socket I showed you on the bumper. We've also got what they call a Victron Buck Boost, and that will send power to the batteries when the engine's running. And we've also got a battery master system, which is from a company called Vanbits, and what that does is when the batteries are full with solar, it will then send a trickle charge back to the vehicle battery, so you never ever get a flat vehicle battery. This here is our Victron Multi Plus, which is a 3000 watt inverter, and that will power any household device that you wish. Under me pots and pans lives our 3 Victron lithium batteries, so we can be fully off grid for as long as you want. And it
all hides away.
Yeah. So every bit of space has been used, so that's where our Truma system lives. The wardrobes on either side were added, they're not original to the vehicle, and again the two cupboards at the back of the motorhome were added, they weren't original to the vehicle. So this is probably one of the only times I get to sit in the driver's seat, is when I'm showing people like yourselves. So this is Denise's driving seat, and it's 6-way electric. So she has buttons on the side of it down here, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got to figure out which ones. So she's got buttons on the side at the minute, which I'll show you, but it'll take her from the seating position up and down and swivel, and it'll take her from the driving position into the dinette position all on her own, so she doesn't need no assistance. We'll show you how Denise drives the vehicle in a minute.
Okay, so these buttons here, oh right.
Got that one for swiveling. That one for up and down. And that one for back and forth.
Goodness me. This is, those for a certain age, this is very Joe 90.
So it's a bit dark at the moment. Me and Denise like a bit of fun. We like to play our music. And I'm sorry if I set your assistance off, but party mode.
Okay.
And that's front and back as well. So again, on a night when we're entertaining, we like a bit of fun, and we're all about fun. So yeah, we turn the bus into a party bus. Stop party mode. She didn't hear me.
You didn't say Alexa.
Stop party mode.
Okay.
You don't have to when you're doing this.
Okay.
So again, just for a little bit of fun and accessibility, we've got the Max Air fan, which is basically an extractor fan, and it comes in handy in Europe. It is operated by remote control, but why bother when you can have an assistant do it? Turn the Max fan on.
Okay.
And there we go, we've got the Max fan on, all wired to your assistant. Turn the Max fan off.
Okay.
There you go. So Denise drives it, like I said earlier on, with hand controls. So it's a mechanical link that's linked to the existing pedals, so the pedals are still there, so anybody else can jump in and drive it. However, if I pull back on the hand control, you'll see the accelerator pedal go down. And likewise, when I press it forward for the brake, you'll see the brake pedal go down. And the little switch on top, like I said earlier, is just Denise's indicators. So she can indicate it, and then she can steer with one hand on the steering ball. So it does get a bit scary down country lanes.
So absolutely good on you two, and I'm not just saying that, I mean that, because you deserve this. You really, really do. Good on you two. What they've also not said on this vlog, so I have got a previous vlog where we've had a bit of a chat and things like that. So this is about the accessible moho, but tell us about your YouTube channel and give yourself a bit of promotion as well.
So, Wandering Wheelies, we're on YouTube. We started just to document our trips and travels and to hopefully inspire other people. If we can do it, then anybody can. Yes, it's an expense. It took us a long time to save up for this, but the fun, the enjoyment, the people we've met, like Neil, you know, we would never have met Neil, the campsite warden, we would never have met the travel trolls and other people if we didn't have this motorhome. We've made friends that are now friends for life, and that's what it gives you. It gives you adventures, it gives you memories, and we wanted to document that on our YouTube channel. We're still only small, so every subscriber helps. So please give us a like, watch the videos, give us a subscribe and a comment, and do the same for Neil.
Absolutely amazing, jaw-droppingly amazing, and I am thrilled to bits for you both. I was explaining I've got a friend that was a PA for 4 years, Wayne. Wayne, maybe one day you'll see this video, Wayne, and I'm going to give you a shout out because you will get out of that bed. That's just for a personal friend. Thank you ever so much, from really mean that. That's inspirational for what you've achieved, and well done for your adventures. And
cheers for inviting us along to the nurseries.
No, absolutely amazing. I'll put a link in the description to their YouTube channel. Do pop over, like they say, subscribe. If you can't find out how to subscribe because you're watching this on a TV, press the down button and things. But if you can't find it, find the channel, you'll find the thumbs. Go on, you do that.